That's how it's always been done. I think that's like one of the biggest statements that will destroy an organization. I know when you're in extremely large organizations like the military, like the Marine Corps, making any kind of course corrections in kind of organizational values or structures, very difficult. But even in those organizations, that term, that's how it's always been done, well, that becomes like a non-starter when you think about the fact that, well, things change. Like things do just simply change, and you've got to adjust and change with the times. In law enforcement organizations, I see it a lot also. Like this is how it's always been done. And it just stifles and crushes the morale within that organization. So how do you counter that? I'd love your input. My thoughts are every once in a while, an organization has to be willing to purposefully evaluate their operations from the top to the bottom, from the bottom top up. Evaluate their standard operating procedures, evaluate how to do business, evaluate everything. And it has to be purposeful, not just because you got a new boss, not just because somebody wants to put their mark on things. It has to be reasonable and purposeful. A funny story that I taught, I didn't come up with a story, but it was part of this de-escalation course that I taught, was a new colonel shows up on an army base and there's this bench that has guards at the bench. And he's like, wow, I wonder what this is all about. Why are we guarding this particular bench? It's something that's being done. So he reaches out to the previous colonel. Hey, why are we guarding this bench? Oh man, I don't know. We've always done it this way. I asked the last guy. So he goes back. Finally, he goes back 2 or 3 guys until he gets a hold of this retired general. He's like, hey, general, why are we still guarding this bench? And the general's like, well, I don't know. I imagine the paint should be dry by now. Organizations got to be willing to look at themselves in the mirror and ask why. Why are we doing business the way we're doing it? Is there a better way to do business? And should we make those adjustments? And they should seek input from the bottom up, top down, in some form, way, or fashion. What do you think?